Good afternoon, Flosstube. My name is Mandy and welcome to my channel about cross stitch. Today is Saturday, January 15th. It's been a few weeks since I've been here. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for pressing play, checking me out. If you are a new subscriber, which I've had a little bit of an uptick on that, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have seen my last video, and actually the last few videos where I've talked about my health a little bit, I did have surgery and I am doing so much better. Oh my gosh. The surgery I had back in May left me in quite a lot of pain afterwards. Seemed to have had quite some complications. Stitches just jumped on through. And so it didn't leave me with the greatest experience last time. And I'm not going to get into a whole lot of detail here, but just to say that this time around has been a complete 180. I have had very minimal pain. I just so much better experience this time around. I want to thank everybody who has commented wishing me best wishes and, you know, speedy healing and everything in my last couple of videos and on Instagram. Greatly appreciate it. I had one night stay in the hospital. There's stitches. The whole process was not as intensive and invasive as I was expecting it to be. So huge relief there. I did take the week off work this past week just to relax. I wasn't sure exactly how to expect, you know, how I would feel and everything. And I've gotten a lot of stitching done as a result because I have felt so good. It has been amazing. Stitches says hi. New viewers, this is Stitches, my little black cat. She's a joy. She steals the show most times, I think, because she likes to run back and forth across there. So, so it looks like we're gonna have the Stitches show today. So all right, well, because I've been able to get so much stitching done, I feel like I've got quite a bit to show you today. The funny thing is I've actually got five finishes. They're little, trust me, they're small, but yeah, we've got 5 finishes. And then I've got 3 new starts and a handful of whips. And one of my whips I have not actually shown here before because it was, and I'll explain all that to you when we get to it. Alrighty. I guess the biggest news that I should share, I got a tablet that is not an Apple product for Pattern Keeper. Yeah, I've been putting it off because I love Apple products and I've been waiting for the app to come to Apple and it's just not happening. And with the different challenges, like Full Coverage Fanatics having a number of challenges and whatnot, I was really hoping to get, I was trying to get a like stitch count of what I've completed versus what I have left and everything, because like Full Coverage Fanatics has a challenge of completing 22,000 stitches on one piece in 2022. And so just trying to get a best idea of which project I was wanting to use for it or whatever. So there's this app out there called Markup XP or something like that. It's Apple compatible, but you have to manually load everything. Like you can upload the PDF, but then you have to go through symbol by symbol and label which DMC color number it goes with. Well, when you select a symbol, it's supposed to highlight them all on that page, and it doesn't. So 89 colors, multiple colors having to load multiple times because it's not selecting every symbol. It was annoying. I paid for the app, but you know what? We're just gonna bite the costs and so be it. So I ordered a cheapy tablet off of Amazon that is getting returned. It's freezing up. Like the first time it froze up so much, couldn't even get to the point where I added my Wi-Fi password. It was not recognizing the date time, you know, my time zone. Rebooted it, froze. Tried multiple times, not loading. Figured this morning, we'll give it a try. I got so much to adding my Google account, tried to download the app, now it's telling me no connectivity. You know what, just get rid of the thing, we're returning it. I've already gone to Best Buy this morning where I found myself a Samsung. So it's, you know, cheaper than my iPad, but it's still going to be, I've already got it downloaded. I've got my 3 full coverage items added in there. I've got them all marked off. I'm ready to go. So once I get this uploaded, you best believe that I'm going to be stitching full coverage today. Oh my gosh. It's me. I love my Apple products. I was hoping that it would come, and it was just me not wanting to deal with getting another tablet or whatever. I have a Kindle tablet. I don't want to have to do the backwards way of trying to get the Google Play Store, and just give me the app. So, but on to the finishes. Let's start there. So the first one that I have to show is out of this Cross Stitch and Needlework magazine. I love this magazine. This was in July 2014, and it is the Hands-On Designs, a year of celebrations. I always want to say year in for some reason. A year of celebrations, and it's the June one. I have kitted up July, but I haven't started stitching it. And so now that I've completed June, I have the first 6 months worth completed stitches. I don't have them like fully finished or anything of that nature. And here we go. This is stitched on a piece of 14 count oatmeal Aida. I just bought one of the big tubes from, you know, Hobby Lobby. Well, it might have been more like Joann's or something, years ago. And so I've just cut them down to little squares like this so that I can stitch. These I tend to stitch in hand just because they're so small. They do call for overdyed threads. I haven't used any of the overdyeds. I've just gone through my DMC stash and, you know, paying attention to the color. This color looks good. This color looks good. So it's all DMC. And there's some white stars right here that don't really show up all that well, but it's good enough. So that is June. Another finish that I have, I received this as Happy Mail from Michelle Fendi Stitchy. It was before Christmas. It is Lindy Stitches Vulcan Villa, right? Vulture. I always want to say Vulcan. Vulture Villa. Called for DMCs. There might have been a couple substitution DMC colors in terms of like I didn't have a color, so I just found the next closest type of thing. And here we go. This one was so cute. I think I finished this at the very end of December. This is stitched on a piece of, I think it's like an 18 count color and cotton, just a grab bag. So I don't know the name of the color or anything like that, but that's looking pretty good. So this one was a quick little stitch, even though that is full coverage. It still didn't take me all that long. So thank you so much to Michelle. I still need to get that pattern passed on to somebody else. Okay. We're not doing the whole editing thing. The other thing about getting that iPad or the new tablet is that I have been maxing out the storage in this thing. And so now maybe I can actually complete something without it. Your iPad's too full. And I had this one already, and there we go. So this is from a magazine. I ended up downloading the digital edition on from Zinio, and it is, I'm trying to get to the beginning of the magazine here. The name of the magazine was Contemporary Cross Stitch Collection. So this is what the cover of it looks like. And I had come across this magazine back before Christmas from a Facebook group that somebody had posted, you know, like they found it at Joann's. And there was a picture on the cover that I just had to stitch. And so I did. Now I'm trying to find it. It is from Stitchrovia. You know, I had this pulled right up and then I lost it trying to get to the cover. There are so many designs in this booklet that I want to stitch. So I'm so glad that I got it. So here we go. So like I said, it's Stitch-rovia, and there's all these like cards with motivational sayings on it. Funny thing is I just came across some notes of a wish list, just handwritten wish list thing, and it was a World of Cross Stitch magazine that had these cards in it. So very exciting that I was able to find that. And so the one that I stitched says, "Life is tough, but so are you." It just resonated with me so much with all that I have gone through since really March of 2020. Well, no, 2021. We're in 2022 now. Yeah, March of 2021 when I came down with COVID. And then 2 months later, ended up in surgery, and that surgery recovery took forever. But hopefully now with this other surgery that I had means that I am fully on the mend. I had a drain that's now been taken out as of yesterday, so feeling really good. So here's my finish. This is stitched on a piece of 16 count Picture This Plus in Haversham, something like that. So it's a big piece. Decent size anyways, that I plan on stitching more of those. I've also, I think it was out of that booklet, there were some, like, I think it was ink circles. Might have been something different, but these mandalas. So just handful of stuff that I want to stitch on this. My intention is to frame this or finish it somehow that I can see it every day. Just kind of a reminder, you're tough. That is that one. Stitches. And my next finish, you have seen, if you've watched before, you've seen this. I don't have the full finished picture because I didn't get it printed. We don't have it handy on the iPad. I have it finished though, so you can see the whole thing. So this is Yule Ball. This was in the Forbidden Fiber Company's Advent box for December, designed by Bendy Stitchy. And the fun thing about this is that it was released a portion of the pattern each, like on the even days of the month. And along with that piece of the pattern, we got a color thread. So each of those even days, you know, we stitched that whole color. I was able to keep up with it for the most part. The black portion is a toile. So we'll try to get this up here a little closer. So that raccoon is so dapper looking, so handsome. We got the squirrel and little birds. And so it is the animals. There's a raccoon, or no, not raccoon, I've already said that. Rabbit and a moose. Reindeer. I think she said it was reindeer. Under the mistletoe by the Christmas trees. Holiday trees. So I loved stitching this. This was so fun. The saying across it is, "'Tis the season of cold and light. May your spirit shine bright on this very night." This was such a fun piece to stitch. And the so the fibers were dyed by Forbidden Fiber, and then so is the material. Rose Petal, I think is the name of it. It's a, if I remember right, 16 count. And like, I love that green of the dress, and just so much fun. So many good colors. So that was finish number 4. And my last finish of the week, another Bendy Stitchy. We've got Winter Wishes. This is now available from her website, and I'm sure from LNS's can get it and all of that good stuff. So I do believe, I was looking through my patterns the other day, and it looks like I'm missing Autumn Witches, I think. Maybe I'm missing Summer Witches? I don't know. All the seasons are out now. I've got 3 of the 4, it looks like, so this one was so cute. This one was in a box a year ago, but like I said, it's available now. So it calls for color and cotton. And so I'm using called for, color and cotton, and then DMC. I think I'm using everything called for. This is stitched on a piece of 18 count Picture This Plus in Mirage. This one was so much fun to stitch, especially that greenery down below. I almost wish that I had snagged a like variegated green to give it some variegation there, but that's in DMC. So the dresses and the cauldron are all in color and cotton threads. So it was fun. And I don't know how well you can tell, but the white is a 12. That's really not going to sparkle, I'm sure, but all of the white is a 12. That was fun. I am loving her designs, and I can't wait to see what else she comes out with. Alrighty. Shall we get on to the new starts? Alrighty, so this one is from Christie's Corner, I believe it is, on Etsy. It is her temperature bookcase. And so if you haven't seen temperature charts before, the entire chart represents the entire year. Each book in this instance represents a day of the week. So then we've got 12 book shelves representing January, February, March, all the way down. And all these fun little doodads, knickknacks. There is an expansion pack that I also bought to change out like the clock and the rainbow and excuse me, the rose. I haven't decided what I'm gonna put, what exactly I'm gonna put where. But I saw somebody on Instagram do this one already that had a plant at the top, like it was sitting on top with the leaves kind of flowing down on the side. It was so cool. I do know that there was a black cat in that expansion pack, so you know that's going to be going somewhere. And there's where we're at. So I've got the bookcase carried over a little ways. That's as far as I've got with the bookshelves themselves. So I've got 11 books stitched. So today's the 15th. Got a few days to pick up. I know some people like to kind of keep up on, you know, one day of the week, stitching that entire week. I don't know if I'm going to do anything like that. But that's where we're at so far. So I do have some of the books back stitched because, you know, back to back, same temps. So what I'm doing is that there's a range of DMC colors within the chart for her area. I think it was for Mississippi. Well, the cutoff for the coldest temp was for temps below below 40 degrees. We get into single digits here, if not even colder. And so I kept her main colors. So like each color represents a 4-degree range. And so I expanded on hers by just adding a bunch of colors colder. So I think my coldest temp is going to be anything below 13 degrees will be one color. And then like 14 to 18, 19, whatever, you know, 4-degree increments. And so I went into the pinks. So it's kind of supposed to be a rainbow type effect. So based off of the coldest colors on hers, I just went into the pinks, reds and pinks. And so everyone's is going to look different based on their area. I am doing the average temp of the day here. I started doing the highest temp, but I went to go jot down one of the day's temps. I don't know, it was one day earlier this week. And while the coldest temp was like 30 degrees, the average of the day was like 13. So it was a really cold day that at midnight it had spiked up, you know, at the very end of the day. But so I decided to go with that average temp because I figured that would be more of a true representation versus that 30 degrees on a day that the warmest temp was at midnight. So, so I had a few books done at the highest temp, pulled those back out, and then restitched it for the average temp. So that'll be fun. And so I've got a whole piece here. This is stitched on a piece of 16 count Picture This Plus in Legacy. Regency, I think is the name of it. So really pretty modeling with it not being full coverage that'll peek through, you know, behind the shelves and such. So there we go. That was one new start. I did decide to do a New Year, New Start. So I started this one, well, technically I started it at like 12:30 a.m. on New Year's Eve night. Just up watching TV and stitching. I decided to put in a few stitches. But it's from Northern Expression Needlework. It is the Twisted Band Sampler. Well, Twisted Rainbow Sampler. This is the traditional cross stitch version. There is another version that is a that's got specialty stitches, and I decided to just go with the traditional cross stitch version. I am an upper left corner starter usually. Non-fold coverage pieces I tend to start in the middle. I was not going to try to figure out where the middle was. Oh, I started in the upper left corner, and so I'm working into the yellows and greens here. And I have this on a set of scroll frames. And here we go. A few years ago, my mom was stitching something on black in a Q-snap. And when she went to move her Q-snap, she actually like marred the fabric somehow from those Q-snaps. So it's kind of damaged her thread, her material a little bit. And I remember it being something that was not full coverage, and definitely taking a risk of it being in an area that wouldn't have been stitched over. So I decided to go with these scroll frames. I don't remember exactly what they're called. I was trying to order Rollo frames, I guess they are Rollo frames, that I see Christine Stitch All the Things stitch with. I thought that's what I was getting. It's not. Basically what I was looking for was there's a, like the kind is where you don't have to sew the rods, and the kind that I wanted has these little teeny tiny spikes that will hold your material in place as you go to roll it up. Not what I ordered. I have since found what I'm actually looking for, favorited it on like Etsy or something for a day that I'm just fine. These are nice, don't get me wrong, it's just not what I was hoping to order. But because of that, I am, you know, the width here, I'm learning to two-hand stitch. I don't have a frame or anything, stand, but I use like a TV tray to hold my pattern and whatnot. And so between like balancing this against that, my lap, maybe the armrest of the couch, I've actually been able to get that down pretty well. This is stitched on a piece of 16 count Witchelt in Midnight Gray, I think it's called. So, really pretty. So this is two different straight colors of DMC. The original called for threads are dinky dyes that would have cost me $85 to get all of those threads. I like to spend money on my cross stitching, but that just seemed a little ridiculous. And so the colors of this DMC conversion, I think it's going to be spectacular, and I don't need the dinky dye silks. I'll save the silks for something else. But yeah, so a little bit of a see-through material here, but makes it easier for stitching on, I guess. I'm not too used to stitching on the darker fabrics. So then the other night, I don't know, it was one night this week, on a whim, I think it was Wednesday, I decided I was ready to start another project. You know, the two that I've already started isn't enough. So Silver Creek Samplers, beg your pardon. And there's another one that's called Hissed Off, that is a cat with quite an angry look on it. It's so funny. Same, you know, kind of companion piece. So when I was pulling colors, I didn't exactly have all of the DMC colors, and so this lighter gray here, I didn't have it in you know, on hand. Can't find it in any project. I think it was DMC 648 or something like that. Can't find it anywhere for some reason. So I got the idea, I'm gonna stitch it in black. So, because, hello, black cat running around here somewhere. I think I'm going to keep the darker gray, like triangles in there just to kind of break it up a little bit, even though she is all black. That way I'm not just stitching this entire thing in just a big black blob. So just to kind of give it some contrast, we're gonna keep with the darker gray. The words and like this paw and this paw, it was a brown. And so when I was trying to, I didn't have that on hand either. So when I was trying to come up with something, you know, similar shade, just different DMC number, I ended up coming across a red that is just so pretty. So I changed it all together, even though it was called for in brown. I think the pink in the paw pads, you know, the toe beans, are going to be a slightly more pink as well, because again, I didn't have the color. But this is so cute. And here we go. I stitched quite a lot. Like I said, I had a lot of stitching time this week. So I got all of the words done, and the paw, the fish, and look at that little mouse. I still have to add the eye, but with black, but I figured one stitch. I'll wait until I get the black pulled out for everything else. Cute little slice of cheese. So all I have to do is the big paw, and then I think there's another fish bones, paw print, and some little doodads around there. So this is stitch up really quick. I believe this was another color and cotton grab bag. It's stitching up like a 16 count. So I think it's a 16 count. No clue what the shade is. It's kind of a pinkish. Yeah, it's pretty. It's fun. I love it. Okay, so that is all of my new starts. And a whip that I am working on. So I am attempting to do whip go. Box number 2 was already called and finished. That was the June celebrations. My goal on that was to finish, which I did. And so then this next item is my box number 19. Originally put it down for a finish. Going into surgery, having no clue what my recovery is going to look like. You know what? I'm like, let's just change that from a finish to like 2 weeks. I'm now thinking I can finish it. This weekend is actually a whip go weekend, so this is supposed to be a focus piece. I stitched on it all day yesterday and into the evening. So I'm really actually close to a finish. This is Black Cats and Spooky Bats from Park Hopper Bart. I got this in a with a project bag from Evertote. Gorgeous, gorgeous bag. I don't have that handy. And the threads are from Leo and Roxy. By the way, if you are not already following Evertotes on Instagram, so it's at Evertotes, just straight Evertotes with an S, go follow them. They are doing a 5,000 follower giveaway for an entire set of Leo and Roxy floss, which I love these flosses. They're hand dyed, over dyed or whatever. This is one of the colors. So this is sage, really pretty green. A couple of other ones that I don't want to pull them all out because I've got some, I don't know what's all in there. But yes, you can have a chance of winning an entire set of Leo and Roxy flosses. So here we go. And so this is the second band down. So there's one more smaller one with the like pretty at the top. So I just have to finish out the black line here and then do the top one. So it's all finished. I've got it all on the Q-snap. I don't want to take it all off. So this whole band is finished. So really, if I could just spend another time focusing on it, it really won't take a whole lot of time. So that, a finish seems to be too broad of a, too big of a chunk, just, you know, because like I said, last recovery time took forever. I lost 2 months worth of stitching after that last surgery. We're feeling so much better now. So the purple is amethyst, the yellow is haystack, the black is vamp or vampish, one of those. So yeah, if you've seen before, I've talked about this ampersand was like right up against the purple. Last night I did frog that out and then moved it over a couple of stitches just to make it a little more even there. I know other areas it was right up against it, but nothing else had this. It just seemed weird to have that all the way over when, you know, big. So we moved that over. But yeah, this is stitched on a piece of 16 count color and cotton in fennel seed. I received the material and I think 3 skeins of floss from Color and Cotton as a giveaway from their Facebook page. Love Color and Cotton materials and flosses. Alrighty. So the next piece that I'm going to show is from, and this is the piece that I said at the beginning that I've got a whip to show that I've not shared here before. It is from Just Cross Stitch. This is an August 2017 edition. I had started this ages ago, before I was even filming for Flosstubes, and for some reason it just wasn't ever calling to me. And so it sat a couple of years of just not touching it. But I think it's pronounced Bergama Borders. Design, I'm not even sure how to pronounce this. Banu Demerol by Seba Designs. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Let's see if I can get it on here without showing too much of the pattern. That's who it's by. It is 3 colors. It calls for weeks. Didn't have the overdyes, so I pulled the DMC variations. So it's 310, 336, and 816. And it is such a fun piece, especially now that I've gotten going on it. It's a fun piece. It's kind of big. I don't know why I've let it sit for so long. But I've got this first band done and then working my way through this next one. It is stitched on a piece of 16 count white Aida. Floss still. So let's just go ahead and get the grime guard off of there. So this is where we're at. So like I said, I have not shown this before. I originally put this piece on another set of scroll frames that I got. Can't reach around. I wasn't, didn't really know anything about the two-handed stitch. So I pulled it off of the scroll rods, and now that I'm using an 11-inch Q-snap, I can pretty much get the entire edges without having to move left and right. So obviously I'll need to move it down more, but yeah. So that top hole banner is done, and then just working my way. So I should have taken a before picture when I first started this whole thing, just to show like how much progress I made. You might have actually, if you follow me on Instagram, you probably would have seen pictures, because I was working on this through while watching a whole bunch of whip parades. And so whip parade I forget now what the hashtag is. Whip parade 2122. Michelle Bendy started a hashtag that I've tried posting like my before and after watching a bunch of different whip parades, so, but I don't remember what the hashtag is. So yeah, this is such a fun piece. I just need to keep stitching on it. I like that it's just a few colors, and I like being able to stitch the black, you know, to start with like this, and then I can just go in and fill it in with either the red or the blue. It's been a fun one. We need to make sure that it doesn't sit for 3 years again. Alrighty, and my last piece that I have to share today is full coverage. Maybe if we can get the picture to... It's all pixelated. We did print the cover piece. This is Mini Midnight Messenger. Artwork is by Ann Stokes, charted by Heaven and Earth. I have pointed this out before. If you're trying to look for this piece, messenger is spelled a little differently than normal. Love this piece. And I got a page finish. My first page finish on this piece. There we go. Oh my gosh, look at that owl. So this is stitched on a piece of 16 count white Aida, 2 strands, full cross. And I got this particular pattern in just the regular format, because I knew I'd be doing it digitally. I can expand as I need to on my tablets. Now I got Pattern Keeper. And so this is my first regular format pattern page finish, and it is so many stitches. I think it's like a good 2,300 stitch difference. Like this is 8,000 stitches, whereas a regular or a large print is like, I think it was like 5,700 when I looked at one before. I don't remember. But look at the detail on that. Oh my goodness. That one was so much fun to stitch. So I did stitch down into page 5 and page 2 a little bit. So I'm not exactly sure which piece, if I'm going to start stitching on this one. Like I said, I'm getting the itch to do full coverage now, so I can try out Pattern Keeper more. Either this, or I've got my Dark Goddess, or Mini Stitching Moon. It's funny, I chose this to do for my 22 and 22 for full coverage. This is the least bit completed. This has like just under 10% completed. Mini Stitching Moon is 59% complete, and there's definitely 22,000 stitches remaining. You'd think I'd choose that one, get that one closer to a finish. This one was calling to me for that. So, Full Coverage Fanatics is having a challenge for the year, something about stitch around Germany. So like the equal distance, or like the kilometer distance, you stitch that many stitches. So like if it's 500 kilometers from one city to another, you stitch 500 stitches. I don't know what the distances are. I don't know if I'm gonna jump into all of that just because that's a lot of tracking. But I don't know. As of right now, we're doing the 22 and 22. We'll see where we go from there. So that is all of the stitching, new starts, finishes, whips. Just a couple more things to show. Happy Mail, I guess Happy Mail, Floss Club, Fabric Club. This would have been the December fabric of the month from Bestitch Me. It came on, I think, the 31st. The color name is It's a Mystery. And it is this gorgeous, gorgeous blue. Darker, but still a gorgeous color. I can see something stitching something like wintry on here because, you know, that white would just pop on that blue. Very, very pretty piece. I really like Bestitch Me's fabric of the month. If you're looking for a good fabric of the month, definitely like this one. Okay, so now we can talk about Happy Mail. This was the true Happy Mail. I was so surprised when I got this. I knew that Laura from Stitching by the Shore was sending me a Christmas card, and she's into the paper crafting, so I knew she would be making a card. And she had mentioned, when she thanked me for me sending her one, she said that she was late on getting hers out, that there were going to be more of New Year's, and I don't remember exactly when this came in, but I was floored that there was something with it. So anyways, her card is gorgeous. So wishing you peace, love, joy, peace, love, and joy this holiday season. Very pretty and such a sweet, sweet note. But what came with it, she stitched me an ornament. Isn't he adorable? He's so cute. I was so touched that I ended up this. She shared a video. It was a Flosstube extra of showing how she finished some ornaments. And it's got this really long title of something about, basically suffice it down to a very simple basic finish, and I love it. I love simple finishes. I am not one to add, you know, layers and layers of gingham fabric and 15 bows and all the rickrack stuff sticking at whatever that stuff is. Just, I like basic, and I adore this, and I feel so loved that she thought to send me one, and I love it. And just, she wrapped it around some sticky board or whatever, and just a basic piece of felt covering the back. And I love this. I didn't put up my tree this year, but it's gonna have to go on a tree next year. So thank you, Laura. Thank you so much for thinking about me. I love them. So that is it. Plans. We already talked about full coverage. I don't know yet what I'm gonna be stitching. I really would like to finish Black Cats and Spooky Bats. So hopefully that'll be a finish next time I come. Otherwise, who knows? Hopefully maybe I'll even have a finish of the pardon? That is so cute. I beg your pardon. I don't know. We'll see what we're gonna stitch on. I guess really I've given much of a life update. Surgery went well. It wasn't as extensive as I was expecting it to be, and he cleaned up some scar tissue that had settled from the previous surgery. And like I said, I had a drain, came home from the hospital with a drain, got that taken out yesterday. And I've had some, I don't even want to call it pain, discomfort, really. Just, you know, you drop something on the floor, now you got to pick it up after you've had, you know, your stomach cut into, your ab muscles. You know, I'm feeling those by all means, but it is far from it being a pain. And so I'm really hoping that the repairs that he took care of in the surgery will get me back to normal. So I've got a follow-up appointment with him on the 24th, and then of January, and then after that I hope I can be done with the doctor's appointments. I hope that everything gives a final healing and then I can be done. The only other thing I need to do is I need new glasses, I need a haircut, but that's not health related. But I really need new glasses. But beyond that, I'm really hoping to be able to just be done with the health appointments and the regular doctor's appointments and health stuff. So I go back to work on Monday. I'm still working from home. We're not returning to the office, at least if we are. I know we've got new hires coming in that are from other areas of the country, so I don't see us going back to the office if we're hiring people from Cincinnati and Indiana and Texas and wherever else. But it's great to get some new hires coming in, get them trained up so that, you know, we can get a little bit of reprieve on some of the work, that overload that we've had. Thankful that I've had a job. I love my job. I love the work that we do. And I love that we're staying working from home. On the other side of my camera is my desk. And so because I've got a sliding door right here opening into the courtyard, I get fresh light all day. In the, you know, summer times, and that sliding door is open all day long, so I'm getting that fresh air that you don't get when you have, you know, when you're in an office setting. And so I love that we're working from home. And so yeah, haven't been reading a whole lot. That has definitely gone by the wayside, it seems. I definitely want to get back to it. Just, I don't know, I'm home, and so if I'm awake and feeling good, I tend to be stitching. So that's about all that I have. I definitely rattled on a little longer than I really thought that I would. Almost whip parade length here. So I hope everyone is doing well. Keep stitching, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you again next time. Take care, everybody.